As Christians, we spend a lot of time reading the New Testament because it's a wonderful story of God sending Jesus and cleansing us from our sin, giving us the forgiveness and the route to live with Him for eternity. But sometimes we overlook the rest of our history. The Old Testament sometimes gets excluded from a lot of our study because that's Jewish history in some people's minds. But I want to just affirm to you that is our history as God's people. The Old Testament, what we call the Old Testament, other people just call it the Scriptures, is our story of how God brought us to this moment and who He is. And this time of year, we start hearing about Jewish feasts and holidays that are coming up. 2 of them are coming up in the month of September. One is called Rosh Hashanah, and the other is called Yom Kippur. They're right next to each other. And it's good for us to understand what they're about because they affect our lives too. As God's people, that's part of our history. Rosh Hashanah comes first. It is the celebration of the new year. You say, wait, Doug, the new year starts in January. Well, in our calendar it does, but in the Jewish calendar it starts in September, about the middle of September. And it's a celebration, but in that time, in the celebration, the feast and the fast of Rosh Hashanah, 3 real things happen. 1, the people reflect on who God is. He is the Creator. He is the Almighty. And we are to submit to Him as our King. That's a noble reminder. 2, they remember God, and they know that God remembers them, and God remembers their life. And so during the feast of Rosh Hashanah, the people start remembering their lives and what they've done and what they haven't done. But they also remember that God remembers with patience and with mercy, and they give thanksgiving for that. And then 3, they celebrate the new year, looking forward to what's going to happen in the new year. And just as people, we do the same thing. We make New Year's resolutions. Well, I'm going to move forward. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to be a better student. I'm going to do all kinds of things. And people celebrating Rosh Hashanah do the same thing. We celebrate a new year coming. It's like a new chance to live our lives the way we want to, the way that God has called us to. That's Rosh Hashanah on a thumbnail sketch. 10 days after Rosh Hashanah comes Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is the most holy of all the feasts and all the fasts of Judaism. It is the Day of Atonement. It celebrates the time when God forgave the people after they sinned when Moses was on the mountain receiving the law. They were worshiping a golden calf. But God forgave them and was patient with them. The Day of Atonement is a very solemn occasion. We remember, the people remember their sin. They contemplate their sin. They observe a 25-hour fast where they don't eat or drink because they want to dedicate themselves to God. They go to synagogue, they light candles, they sing songs, they read scriptures, they listen, and they try to refocus their lives on God, and they call for God to atone. We see the Day of Atonement commanded in the Bible, and God gives them a very specific order to follow. And it's a difficult one. The priest selects a bull and 2 goats, and he has to make sacrifices for himself to cleanse himself. And then he makes sacrifices for the people to cleanse the people. But before he can do that, he has to cleanse the Holy of Holies and the whole tabernacle and the altar before it, because it's just been in the midst of sinful people. It's a picture of how sin taints and colors everything around it. But with fire and incense and with blood, the sin of the people is eventually put onto a goat who is sent out into the wilderness that never returns. It's a symbol of their sin being taken away. And on the Day of Atonement, we remember that God is the one who takes our sin away. But in the New Testament, we read that the people were aware that the blood of bulls and goats, they couldn't really take away sin. It was in Hebrews chapter 10, where the writer says the law is only a shadow of the good things that are coming. not the realities themselves. For this reason, it can never, by the same sacrifices, repeated endlessly, year after year, make perfect those who are drawing near to worship. It says that it's impossible for the blood of bulls and goats to take away sins. The people knew that, and so they were looking forward to a Messiah. We believe the Messiah has come. With all the evidence, Jesus has taken away the sin of the world. He's taken away our sin. He's made us pure, and we need to observe every Sunday, every day, how precious that gift is. The blood of Jesus has been paid for our sin. Praise be to his name.